The duty of so many men and women we honor today.
When he jumped on one hand grenade and then pulled another one underneath him, and he was in there and saved some men's lives.
We celebrate their service and sacrifice.
Hoorah, Simple Five Marines.
We present to you Veterans' Voices, honoring those who serve. Hello everyone, I'm Ken Watlington and welcome to WNCT's Veteran Voices Special. Over the next half hour, we're excited and honored to share the incredible stories of our local veterans here in the East and across the nation. And we start here at the Town Common in Greenville. This is the 6th annual Field of Heroes. WNCT is a proud sponsor of the display. 500 flags flying with a name and dedication to honor someone's hero, whether that's a family member, a friend, or member of the military. Organizers say it's always a special time to see these flags fly.
These are people that sort of give above and beyond because you have no idea the extra sacrifices involved by those people and their families and their children. And it's just my way to say, you know what, you're important. And my brother's embarrassed that I bought him a flag. And I'm sure my grandfather never would have thought this would have happened, something like this.
It took several hours to put the flags in place with the help of the Greenville Noon Rotary Club, Recreation and Parks Department, and local Boy Scouts. There's one word that describes Plymouth native Jack Lucas: indestructible. As such, it's only fitting the United States Navy decided to name their first Class 3 destroyer after him. On your side, Sarah Graybar has more from his family on what this means to them.
To family, Jack was one of those people who stood up for what's right and loved his country more than anything.
He was a quiet fellow, but he always, he wanted to let you know that he could stand on his own 2 feet. He wasn't going to back down.
Bill Lucas is Jack's second cousin. Jack followed Bill's dad, Oliver, into the Marines despite being underage. Jack turned 17 at sea, just days before the invasion of Iwo Jima.
And Jackie, not too long after that, that's when he jumped on one hand grenade and then pulled another one underneath him. And he was in there and saved some men's lives by doing that.
This is a picture of Jack in the months after jumping on those grenades. Bill says the picture is fitting. For his heroism, Jack received the Medal of Honor, making him the youngest Marine and the youngest World War II serviceman to be awarded.
I think it would make us a better country if we remembered about people like Jack and what they fought for and why we have the freedoms we have.
USS Jack H. Lucas is top of the line with upgrades to air and missile defense radars.
I think he would be really proud to just say, it was all worth it. It was all worth it. To make our military better, to make it stronger.
The boat was commissioned in October in Tampa, Florida.
He would be elated. I think he would be tickled to death. He'd be standing at the front of the line with a champagne bottle. I mean, he'd be ready to go.
In Plymouth, Sarah Graybar, 9 on your side.
Presenting Veterans' Voices, honoring those who serve.
Since 2001, 125,000 veterans have committed suicide.
That's why Ellen Bravo, a veteran herself, now works with Stop Soldier Suicide. She captured these photos now on display to help others survive the transition to civilian life. Presenting Veterans' Voices, honoring those who serve. The World War I Museum and Memorial in Kansas City is more than just a beautiful landmark. It is a place built by the community where veterans carry on the legacy of those before them.
It's a thought many veterans have that you might not even know about. It's the thought of suicide. A local artist is making it her mission to put a stop to this problem. Ellen Bravo is an Army veteran and a local business owner in Washington. She spent time in the U.S. Army as a public affairs officer capturing images of our brave soldiers. And now she wants to give back. Her photos are helping to provide resources to veterans to make sure they aren't forgotten. With more, here's 9 on your side's Aaron Jenkins.
The group of soldiers that we were putting through physical fitness training When I was taking this picture of the mortar live fire, all I could think was, don't miss the shot. In these live fire situations, there's only so many rounds of ammunition.
Ellen Bravo may be a Washington local now, but she's captured images from around the world. They're now on display to help others survive.
It breaks my heart when you think about the fact that since 2001, 125,000 veterans have committed suicide. That doesn't include active duty service members, and a transitioning service member is 5 times more likely to commit suicide. When you're in the service, you have this distinct purpose, and we know what our community is, we know what our role is, we know what our job is, we know what's expected of us. Reestablishing what that purpose is can take some time, and we need resources like Stop Soldier Suicide to be able to help our servicemen and women through that transition.
Ellen not only shot these pictures, but also lived through the same transition.
When I transitioned out during a pandemic from overseas, and I moved back to the United States. And I very quickly found myself isolated and alone without a purpose. I remember going home to see my parents at Christmas that year, so about 6 months after I had transitioned. And I knew I couldn't go back. I am very fortunate in that both of my parents are veterans, and so they had both transitioned, but not everybody has that.
That's why she opened up this art installment at the Turnage Theater to help the people who don't have the support.
I came up with the idea of partnering with the Turnage Theater to host a photo gallery.
I've lost a lot of friends to suicide, so I really wanted to do a show for Suicide Prevention Month because I think it's something that we all should be talking about.
All of the money helping Stop Soldier Suicide.
Stop Soldier Suicide provides the mental health resources, but it's lifetime resources, right? So if you need counseling support or assistance, maybe you're about 1 paycheck away from being evicted or 1 payment. They can find you the resources you need to make that be the difference.
Even though she's no longer telling the soldier's story on the battlefield, she's still fighting for those who have no fight left in them.
We meet them on the side of the mountain before they're on the cliff. The reality is I don't know what would have happened if I hadn't had parents that could have been like, no, I'm gonna help you, because we don't have a guarantee that every transitioning service member has a family to go home to, that they have a home to go to, and we've got to start meeting them on the mountain.
An alarming statistic. 22 veterans a day lose their battle to PTSD on American soil. One veteran in Rhode Island who has struggled himself is on a mission to make a difference. Here's Mike Montecalvo.
I'm doing this to raise awareness towards suicide. A piece of this is to help me out as well.
A former Marine.
Because you gotta appreciate everything that you have in life.
On a mission.
The trees, the ground that we step on, being able to walk, being able to breathe, simplicities of life.
Walking 48 miles in 24 days.
We're strong. I'm strong.
To raise awareness and money to help those who struggle with the thoughts of suicide.
I am a veteran who tried to commit suicide at one point in my life. I want everybody to understand that, hey, there's resources out there.
Joshua Oliveira spent 4 years in the Marines.
I had a band of brothers and sisters. I had people that looked out for me. And I just realized that either one, I was gonna end up in jail, end up on drugs, or just end up homeless. So I knew I needed to do something, and I always wanted to join the military.
When he got out in 2011, he fell into a deep depression and the unthinkable, the idea of suicide.
Hopping in a car and doing 120 and closing my eyes and hoping that I die. And
Josh telling me it was a wake-up call, and he knew he had to get help because he had too much to live for. That's why Josh is walking from Mission 22, an organization dedicated to helping active service members, veterans, and their families throughout any struggles, PTSD, anxiety, or depression.
And I'm hoping that this will be the thing to just stop everybody from saying, hey, how you doing? And change that narrative into, hey, what's going on in your mind? I'm gonna have to check that spot out then.
Oliveira now earns a living as a hairstylist and hopes to teach one day.
It's really just about that awareness.
He says getting out of the Marine Corps and transitioning into society is difficult for a lot of soldiers, including himself.
You have a higher understanding for things, or you have a higher moral for certain things. And when you have that and you come into a world that doesn't tightly agree with that, it messes with you.
For now, Josh taking one step at a time. What are you thinking about when you're walking?
What I could do to better myself. Sometimes it's just clear the head, leave it nice, open and empty, and then just soak in your surroundings around the world.
Josh is hoping his message is heard. If you or someone you know is struggling, contact the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at 988. And if you're a veteran looking for help, go to mission22.com. In Providence, Rhode Island, I'm Mike Montecalvo.
Presenting veterans' voices, honoring those who serve. This military kids group knows firsthand what it means to support our veterans, writing letters of support to deployed service members and those living in veterans' homes.
The city of Jacksonville is honoring the Marines who paved the way for future generations. Every August 25th is Montford Point Marine Day. Now to your side's Claire Curry brings us more on their stories.
9 original Montford Point Marines and the families of the fallen were honored for their bravery, courage, and social change within the Marine Corps.
This is not just Black history or Marine Corps history. This is American history, and the world should know about the Montford Point Marines.
In World War II, these true heroes stepped up to defend our country and Constitution, even though they were not treated as equals at the time.
There's no such thing as a black Marine. Brown, red, white, or yellow, we're all Marines.
Inspiring the integration of all the armed forces in 1948. Today, over 50 Montford Point Marines were recognized with Congressional Gold Medals for paving the way for Black service members who came after them.
I, like all Americans, have an aversion to killing people. And so I'm glad that this medal was for humanitarian things and not for killing people.
As they are proud of their impact and change in history.
And I'm glad I was one of them to be able to go ahead and join and fight for my country and live on and carry on the tradition about the Montford Point Marines. Hoorah, Semper Fi, Marines.
2023 marks 81 years since the first Montford Point Marines enlisted. In Jacksonville, Claire Curry, 9 on your side.
A nonprofit organization here in Greenville is giving our local veterans a chance at a new day. As 9 on your side's Courtney Courtwright explains, it's a chance for those who have sacrificed so much for our country to heal.
It's quite humbling because I don't have to wear it. I don't have to wear the guilt. I don't have to wear the shame. I don't have to wear any kind of badge here. There is no rank here.
In this quiet Greenville community,
I did see a lot of stuff that a person should never have to witness, going through different kind of traumas.
At Rocking Horse Ranch,
that's one of the reasons why I'm here,
is a home for horses.
I don't have to say a word to Willow. She knows. It's as if she served with me.
And
we'll give everything to these veterans because they deserve it.
Hi! Our nation's heroes.
I'm full of pride. There is nothing better than knowing that I did something that was going to make a difference.
There you go. Now, veteran Stephanie Harris is serving a new mission.
She is the perfect horse for me. She's calm and she read me and we connected and we were just like soulmates.
You're a good girl. Finding healing.
For those 45 minutes, I'm free. I'm free.
Through the therapeutic ground school program here.
Give me a hug. She allowed me to be me, allowed me to share my emotions with her, and she just took it in. In the military, they have this saying, I got your 6. She had my back, and I loved it.
Being able to walk in this aisle and see it and experience it is like, wow. like it's real, like it really works.
Hannah Stocks is one of Harris's instructors.
The horse responds in her nature and it's just pure. Stephanie's able to see what she's doing is right, and it's comforting and it's beautiful, and she's good at it.
A bond they hope other veterans will feel.
I want them to know that they are loved, they're respected, they're cherished, and they're family here.
So in the spring,
You're a good girl.
they're launching a program called Horseshoes for Heroes.
Knowing that it will enrich their life and like help them grow skills and get back into civilian life and be really great at it and be happy again. To me, like that's the biggest reward.
This program is more than horseshoes for these heroes.
I'm here.
It's a way to truly bring them home.
You walk away a little bit lighter than you came because you're carrying all of that with you day in and day out. And when you're here, you just feel like it's been lifted.
In Greenville,
I'm telling you, Willow has changed my life.
Courtney Courtright, 9 on your side.
Horseshoes for Heroes is a 10-week program for veterans hoping to build skills like communication and relationship building. Our website has more information on how you can reach out to Hannah to sign up.
Presenting Veterans Voices, honoring those who serve. As part of the 1st Battalion to enter Kuwait, Jake Swain was proud to enlist as a Marine at 17 after witnessing the attacks of September 11th.
Our Veterans Voices special concludes with the story of a local woman who spends every day fighting for a better future for our veterans. On your side's Elena Verdine takes us to New Bern and introduces us to Liz Hartman.
Liz Hartman started her career in the Marine Corps using her voice as an Arabic linguist.
I think I always knew the Marine Corps was just a one enlistment or a one tour kind of thing for me.
But now, in the 9th year since that term ended, she uses her voice as an advocate for veterans, serving as the commander of American Legion Post 539, overseeing programming for veterans and their families in New Bern.
Like, just because you're out of the Marine Corps doesn't mean you should stop serving.
Serving in many ways, like leading a 22-mile hike for veteran suicide awareness, serving on the board of the New Bern Military Alliance, and bringing educational resources to the East.
The purpose is to recognize our military, thank them for their service, and ensure that they know that New Bern loves them every day.
Hartman also fights for veterans on the national level.
I was able to work closely with the American Legion staff in D.C.,
working in our nation's capital leading up to the passing of the PACT Act, directly affecting veterans impacted by toxic water at Camp Lejeune.
It was a tremendous honor to even be in their presence and then to be able to share the message of what they were doing with your everyday Legionnaire.
Why she does it? So veterans can have better lives for years to come.
It's very important that moving forward, veterans understand the risks that are out there and get proper legal representation so that they're not taken advantage of again.
So whether she's volunteering on base or working as a financial advisor for military families, all while serving her own, Liz Hartman has one mission.
There should always be someone on the front lines making sure that veterans are represented and have a voice, and that's my dream.
And you can find more Veterans Voices stories like these online right now at WNCT.com. From all of us here at WNCT, we say thank you to those who have served and are currently serving. I'm Ken Watlington. Thanks for joining us on Veterans Voices, honoring those who serve.